I think this clip illustrates how not enthused I am about this movie.
What, watching a movie? That's... What the...
I am Goku.
Wait. Hey. Wait!
Mozaru.
No!
To be at one with myself, I must be two.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Rising with each beat that the music is bringing, new flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in.
First off, I want to say thanks to Devil Artemis for all of his comedy and that clip for this review. But yeah, we are talking about probably one of the biggest dumpster fires in terms of anime having live action adaptations. Or if anything, any medium from video game, comic books, anime, etc. being having an adaptation of or into the live action format. Dragon Ball Evolution. By the way, for the rest of this review, when I show myself, I'm going to have the parody image up. Because I don't give a shit about this movie. And as the title states, just fucking burn it. Like, no joke. Just take your case of Dragon Ball Evolution, put it down on the ground, basically cover it with lighter fluid, or let's say if you're already drinking, maybe some whiskey or something, and light the fucker on fire. It's that bad. By the way, speaking of bad adaptations, I do plan on doing a review of Borderlands, but currently, I just don't feel like giving this as much money as it should, as well as I'm just going to wait for streaming services, especially when, you know, you look at the trailers, it looks like shit, and it doesn't help that the majority of not just reviewers but also fans are not a fan of this piece of shit. And I gotta tell you, when IGN even says it's bad, you know something or someone fucked up. But right now, we're not here to talk about Borderlands. We're here to talk about Dragon Ball Evolution. So, Dragon Ball Evolution, released in 2009, directed by James Wong, written by Ben Ramsey, and to my surprise, Akira Toriyama. Yes, the Akira Toriyama. The original creator for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dr. Slump, Sandland, even working on games like Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger, just to name a few. There's a point I'm trying to make here by kind of listing some of the things he's done. Because at this point, not only is it sad that one of his greatest works was put into a live-action format and done so horribly, but unfortunately, Toriyama taking part in said travesty. So in the event that some of you stumble upon this video, get this far, and kind of wonder, why am I subjecting myself to this piece of shit? Why, oh why am I subjecting myself to this mental torture? Well, to be honest, and in some sense, is somewhat childish. I was scrolling through some of my social media stuff, more specifically TikTok, and I was looking over a few of my videos, and there was one that bugged me, and still kind of bugs me. And that was a reaction to a video I did, where an individual goes out of his way to try to give a hot take that Dragon Ball Evolution was the best movie.
What's a hot take you have that will make people mad? Dragon Ball Evolution was the best Dragon Ball movie we had. Prove me wrong.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and prove him wrong, I shall do, because not only is this movie not that great, it's not even close to being good. It's a complete dumpster fire. The characters suck. The story is a trash heap. And above all, it is disrespectful to what has been established to the initial Dragon Ball Z storyline. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started on this, because I really should not be taking this much time to start it. Besides giving you a little bit of backstory with a few things, I think it's time we get started on this. And again, explain, especially to individuals like this who are very ignorant to, what has been established as a good series. So, to talk about story, initially, in terms of this movie, it is a hodgepodge of different elements from the initial Dragon Ball Z series. Whereas, in terms of trying to introduce, the Dragon Balls, introduce Goku, which, by the way, in this movie, he's a teenager, when in the original, he was a kid, which made a lot of sense in terms of, the humor of how he's able to do some of the things he's able to do. And especially the initial confusion when people who he fights or he's against initially underestimate him in terms of his abilities. But, yeah, it's right off the bat, they get it wrong. Where it sets it up that he's a teenager. And by the way, Gohan, his grandpa, Gohan, is still alive. Though they just call him Gohan in this one. But they introduce the initial villain, Piccolo, King Piccolo, or Lord Piccolo as he's called. And kind of sets it up that he had control of an Ozaru, or a monster named Ozaru. And eventually it gets kickstarted when Gohan is attacked, looking for the Dragon Balls, and Goku hunts down the other Dragon Balls to try to stop Piccolo. That is the initial plot line. And honestly, me personally, it would have been better if they would have just, instead of we gotta introduce the Dragon Balls, or the concept of the Dragon Balls. Oh wait, Lord Piccolo. I feel like that would have been a character that they could have introduced later on in a later movie, but apparently they didn't. And everything just seems very, very rushed. Especially when you find out that, it's not really much of a spoiler, because if you watch the show, the anime, that Goku is a Saiyan, or in that sense turns into an Ozaru. But they try to make it off as it's this one thing, which is really ridiculous and makes no sense. I think my biggest question is, how did Piccolo ever get his hands on an Ozaru or a Saiyan to begin with? The more I look at the movie, the more I ask more and more questions. It makes no sense. Towards the very end, they do use the dragon to wish a character that died back to life, as they normally do in the show. And towards the end, we do get a cliffhanger of Piccolo being saved, or Lord Piccolo. By the way, actually no, I gotta say this too. They didn't, for the initial show, Goku kills Piccolo. And then he basically spits out an egg, and that becomes the Piccolo that we know and love for the show. This one, you think he's dead, till the very end you find out, oh wait, no, he was saved. He was saved.
I smell Jar Jar! You're ugly.
So, yeah, Lord Piccolo, King Piccolo, who's still very evil, does not die. And we do not get introduced to the character that we all know and love for the series. The Piccolo who, by the way, over time, at first hated Goku because he was following what his predecessor did, but eventually grew to be a better character throughout the series. It wasn't spontaneous, it did happen. Just like a lot of other characters that we get introduced to for the series. I'm actually very thankful that we never got a sequel, or got the, or at least was subjected to what Vegeta could have been for this series. And, by God, nobody wants that. Now, in terms of speaking about characters, I think it's safe to say that every single one of the characters are bastardized versions of themselves. Goku, like I said before, who is supposed to be a kid, is a teenager. And in a sense, Gohan, who was his grandfather, or adoptive grandfather, is still alive. Leaving, or basically getting rid of any sort of, like, I guess, emotional storylines for Goku. Bulma is bland. Chi-Chi, bland, and just kind of set up as a love interest. Yamcha, by God! Yamcha, although kind of quirky and freaking, like, kind of a dick, this guy is just bland. He's a dick, and he's bland. Roshi, meh. Piccolo, he's basically, there's no personality. He's the stereotypical villain. It's just, like, in terms of characters, they're just, again, bastardized versions of themselves. I could not enjoy any single one of the characters on screen. And it didn't seem like there was any effort put into this film. It just felt phoned in, and there was no emotion to it. Interestingly enough, there's not much I can really say about effects. Everything's CGI'd. In fact, I would say some of the CGI and effects are very close to something you would have seen in a movie from Japan in 2009. But that, I'm going to be honest, that doesn't help this movie. And especially with Dragon Ball, where it is huge in your face in terms of, like, let's say attacks, like, you know, the ki blast that you would see within the show, doesn't have that much hit. It doesn't have that much punch to it. And it just, again, it's just, like everything else, it's just bad. Like, it is not good looking. It's not fun to watch at all. Especially when we get the CG monsters like the Ozaru, or the Eternal fucking Dragon, for that matter. It was, again, it's just all bad. It really is. So, final thoughts. And I think some of you have a kind of an idea of what I'm about to say. Or at least my thoughts on it, especially with the title. This movie is not great. It's not good. It's not anything that would resemble anything positive. It is a dumpster fire of a movie. The characters are hollow husks of what they should be. The story is a hodgepodge of various elements from different plot lines from the original Dragon Ball source. The effects are, again, it's 2000 effects, but it doesn't help the movie. All in all, this culmination of shit is honestly, it's shameful. It's disrespectful to what the initial source material is. And I'm going to say something else. In addition to the clip that I shared of the guy saying that Dragon Ball Evolution was the best movie, dude, there are various other movies that are not connected fully to the canon of Dragon Ball that are way fucking better than that shit. Movies like Android 13, Lord Slug, Broly. No, sorry. Broly and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Where that was probably, in terms of emotion and reintroducing a character, was one of the best movies in recent years. Dragon Ball Super Superheroes, where they basically put Goku and Vegeta on the back burner to focus on Gohan and Piccolo, was really good. Other movies, however, were complete... Other movies like this have been complete and utter shit.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
So, one last thing I want to say. And this is especially towards the individuals, like, again, the one guy I shared of that was saying, or giving his hot take, claiming it's the best movie. Anybody who says that has either not watched the source material at all, or, at this point, would watch anything, any piece of garbage that Hollywood vomits out. So, with that being said, this movie is getting a 1 out of 10. I know, unlike places like, IMDb, it's getting a 4 or 4.5. No, it's getting a fucking 1. And like I said, as part of my rating, burn it and piss on the fucking ashes. Nuke the fucker for all I care. Yeah, so 1 out of 10. Yeah, I can't, in all honesty, give it anything higher than that. I really can't. It's just, there's nothing good about this movie. There really isn't. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed my torment through this, and just my complete frustration over a medium that, in some sense, should be somewhat easy to figure out, but apparently not. And again, it is unfortunate that the writer that created the source material took part in this, but that's what happens. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below. And also, please, if you have any comments, please let me know your thoughts. Did you like the movie? Don't worry, I won't completely shun you. But either way, that's a joke, by the way. But either way, Love to hear what you guys have to say. If you like, comment, share, so I have all that good stuff. Follow our socials again, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.